We're back. Easy Insights update number 14. Today's Tuesday, October 17th. We're standing next to the Goodhue answer plot. We're here to talk about some corn, John.
So Corey, last week I hashed out a bunch of ways that you can actually get stalks infected with disease to cause some rots. Talk to us a little bit about an update of what we're seeing in the field with regards to planting date and maturity.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Easy Insights update number 13, I strongly encourage you to do so. John goes through the reasons why we get stalk rots and why we have standability issues late. I was walking the sewer answer plot yesterday that was planted about the third week of May, right around Mother's Day time frame. Think about this. When I walked the 105-day set, we were at 26, 27, 28% corn that had just black layered early last week. The 100-day set was right about 25% moisture, and the 95-day set was a little bit drier, down to 20%. What I noticed was that as I got below 25% moisture corn, I was starting to really see some late season stalk issues. What I think that means for farmers, if you planted on a similar time frame, or if you got in really early, I'd be watching the cornfields that are sub 25% moisture corn. We're starting to see stalks fall down. We're losing some to lodging. And I think no matter how strong our stalks are, but whatever product it might be, we're losing integrity just because some of the season challenges we had.
Yeah, so you bring up moisture. We're going to have a beautiful week ahead of us. How's that going to help the corn crop dry down?
Yeah. We're lucky enough to have some great weather. My truck windows are open today. It's a beautiful sunny day. Sunglasses are on. But think about this. Even if we had a 77-degree high today and a 55-degree low, that would only mean we lost 0.6% of moisture today. We're going to have a solid 5 days ahead of us of good weather before the weather turns next week. So even if we lose, let's say, 0.5% a day for the next 5 days, we're going to lose 2.5% over the next 5 days, which means 26% corn goes down to 23.5% corn. I think as we get past Sunday, the weather turns cold, there's not a whole lot of reason why we leave our corn out dry naturally. I think when the combines are ready to go, we got dry enough field conditions, I think the corn's ready to be taken out because of some of the stock issues we're running into. And we're not going to gain much natural drying because of the weather we're going to go into next week.
So with those two things in mind, we went into corn a little early because beans were a little bit wet with the weather we had. This week we're going to probably finish up beans and get back into corn. That brings up phantom yield loss in a lot of conversations. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think one of the most common questions we've had the last 2 weeks is, I nosed in a corn when it was 28%, and now I'm nosing back in and it's 20%. Why is there a little discrepancy in yield? And yield seems to be less the drier it gets. I think one thing everybody wants to go to is phantom yield loss, right? Which is a theory saying something like we lost dry matter as we decreased our moisture. Regardless if that's true or not, you can look at research studies that prove that it's true, and then you look at research studies that disprove it, right? What I know we control is harvest yield loss from the combine and mechanical issues. I want you to take a look at this. This is a foot by foot, right? Simple square foot. I've got 3 kernels in there. That equates to about a bushel of yield loss, right? So if you're losing through the deck plates or out the back of the combine, that's a quick way to lose a bushel. The other thing I want you to look at is down the 60-foot of row before the grass green strip. You see 3 ears of corn. So let's assume this was planted at 34,000 plants per acre. Those are a normal 18 by 32 ear. If you lose one of those ears per 1,000-foot a row, that's somewhere between 6 to 12 bushels. So it doesn't take many to see a significant change in yield. So regardless if phantom yield loss is true or not, I think paying attention to combine settings, mechanical yield loss, is going to really help make sure that great corn crop that we seem to have this year gets in the tank and not on the ground. I think the last thing to mention is we've got some really good yield given the year we've had, right? Whether it was the August rains or tough start to the year, I think thinking about what management decisions we executed on this year will help set up next year, right? Understanding what went right and deciding on maybe what didn't go so well helps us make the best decision as we go through this fall as we prepare for 2018.